Hi everybody, Cheaply Chic. Welcome back to my channel. So today I decided to take the time to film this video because I've had so many people ask me how I coffee dye paper. First I want to say there are lots of videos out there about everybody's different styles, about how they coffee dye paper and their preferences. It's something that really intimidated me at first. I really think it took me a long time to even try because it just seemed scary, especially to use the oven. So I just want to share this video really quick today. What I'm going to share specifically is how I get patterns on my paper, because that's something that I get asked a lot too. So as far as coffee dyeing or even tea dyeing goes, you're going to do it the same way. I love to tea dye. I just prefer the color more than the coffee dyeing. I've also noticed for me personally that with coffee dyed paper, the acid is a lot higher and it makes me itch. Working with it makes my skin irritated, which, how bizarre is that, right? And it's just probably from my constant touching and cutting and all of that, but I love tea dyeing. I think it gives it a beautiful brown color, and of course the lighting isn't perfect in here. I don't have my lights set up, you guys. I just wanted to share this with you today. So what I do is I use a large casserole baking dish type thing. It's a little larger than the 9x13, but don't go out and just buy something special. You could definitely just use a regular pan. This is something that I had, so I prefer the larger size for my paper just because it fits better. I will throw 4 or 5 tea bags in there. There's not a magic number. I'll boil my whole pot of water. I'll put it in there. I'll let it seep just like normal. I let it cool down a little bit, and then I throw in some cold water to kind of make more water. I'm not going to show all that because, you guys, if you really want to see step by step like that, there are videos out there, but it's really that straightforward. So here I'll just show a little bit. Like, I literally just throw in a couple pieces of paper. This is regular this is regular copy paper, so it will stain your fingers and cuticles. I try to wear gloves most of the time, but it gets really annoying. So I always end up just throwing my fingers in it and washing it off when I have the chance. So I will put in my paper. Something else I've noticed is if you start right away when your water is hot or warm, your paper tears a lot easier. Once it cools down, that tearing tends to not be so easy. So keep an eye out for that, and just know if your paper is tearing right away, it's probably the temperature of your tea or coffee. And then, you guys, the secret to my hearts is literally just this muffin pan. I picked this muffin pan up at Marshall's a few years ago around Valentine's Day. It's really the pan that I have found gives the best shape. A regular muffin pan would give you some fun polka dots, but this is the pan that I love and I use to get my hearts. So something else I've discovered along the way is if this pan is hot, you're going to get a better shape on your paper. I hope you were able to hear that sizzle a little bit because of the heat of the pan. It really suctioned down the paper. So now I'm just going to pop this in the oven. And another thing about the oven temperature, it's really not that critical. Most people say 200 degrees is great. I'm sure that ovens vary. My oven, I actually crank it up to 250. I've never had an issue. It tends to dry quicker, especially when you're doing one sheet at a time. Excuse the dirtiness of my pans. They've had a lot of tea drippings on them before I'm shooting this video, but this is another shape that I've been enjoying, and I've been using it in my fall journals. It's much more faint than the hearts, but the back of this maple leaf pan leaves a really nice impression. And then when I cut it down, see the whole sheet, it's not over the entire sheet like the hearts, but it leaves this nice circle, and then when I cut it down to fit in my journal, it's just a really cool effect, and I really enjoy tea staining in this way. So yes, muffin pan, I put them on top of a regular baking pan, and then I just throw my paper on there, And again, because the pan is hot, it's going to give a nice sizzle. It's going to suction the paper down to it, and it's just going to work a lot better in the end. So yes, I put mine in personally at 250 degrees. One sheet of paper takes about 7 minutes if I stay on top of it. For regular coffee dyeing, all you're going to do is take this baking pan, the biggest one that you have, and I can fit 2 sheets of paper over that. I like to lay a third one diagonal. Sometimes I'll stack 3 or 4 papers. There's really no wrong way. It depends how quickly you want to get it done. I've never left it out of the oven this long, and I really like that white image that's coming through on that paper. That's pretty cool. So you can use a lined cookie sheet to get lines. You can throw it directly on the rack to get a different kind of line. You can throw it on a pizza pan to get polka dots. There are so many ways to play around with this, and it's a lot of fun. You can use it for stationery. You could use it in any of your projects, you guys, that you guys are making. I know I have mostly a Dollar Tree community, so we're looking at pocket letters and flip books and loaded bags and all of that fun stuff. This paper just adds a nice touch, and it's a lot of fun. It really is that simple. Then I get paper out and it's crinkly. There's, you know, marks from the tea where it was stronger than another. Everything is unique and different, which makes it fun. And then I am kind of crazy and I go through with my iron and I enjoy, I have this weird liking for ironing every single piece of tea stain paper that I do. But if you don't want to take that kind of time, or you're not weird like I am, you can just throw it in between some books and it's going to flatten out too. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you found this helpful. Don't be afraid of your oven. Of course, I forgot to mention there's lots of other ways to dry it. You can lay it out on a table and let it air dry. You can put it out in the sun, and that does a pretty quick job too. So yes, don't be afraid of coffee dyeing, and thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you later. Bye.